Welcome back to our marketing discussion. Pete and Lane rejoining us. All right, Pete, based on what you saw this week, does it change your view of the crop this year?
No, I think what I saw this week, depending on how it finishes, it's probably about 5 bushel lower than the USDA is currently. So whatever that is, 440 million bushels. But I mean, we have a very robust export program, but the export program is kind of reaching capacity. And also, while we're on crop tour, Secretary Rollins announced that they're still negotiating with China. If we do get an export program in soybeans, which we desperately need, I think it's going to be a logistical challenge to export many more bushels of corn than we've already sold.
Yeah, I mean, what about for you? If we only shave, well, you said what, 4 bushels off of 5 bushels off of this crop?
At the moment, I think it's a 183, something like that.
Okay, so even if we're at a 183, it's still a record crop, Lane. What are you watching from here on out?
We're going to have to keep up with demand, and this year, with as long as it takes to build up some domestic demand, we're anticipating a bit of an increase in feed, largely from chicken and hogs, as as there's more chickens. That we've had a lot of the aviation flu that killed a lot of birds in these past few years, so we can get some there, but there's a lot of lead time to get any kind of increase in ethanol demand. It's going to have to come from exports, and corn exports have been really robust, unprecedented throughout the summer. We've been shipping more corn than we ever had before in the summer months, and USDA has reflected that in increasing their export estimates every month. But it's just not going to be enough to keep up with the increase in supply that we're seeing this year.
Pete, I think that's what's so frustrating for farmers, because the export demand on corn has been phenomenal. It has been so impressive, and the market it doesn't seem to be paying attention to that.
97 million acres. Even if I'm right, and I doubt that I'm right, but 183 record yield on 97 million acres, it represents a big problem.
So what is it going to take then, Pete, do you think, for this market, the corn market at least, to shift its focus away from supply to something else, maybe demand?
No, I think it's focused on demand now. I think the supply has kind of been written in, and I think the market is focused on demand. But as I said a little bit earlier, I worry how far we can go on our capacity for corn exports, logistically speaking.
Lane, we did see a reduction in soybean acres, but it looks like, based on Pro Farmer this week, there could be a big soybean crop out there. But when we look further out and really what it would take to really energize this soybean market, is China our only hope?
No, after the 2018 trade war, we've seen a diversified export portfolio, and if they're buying all of their cargoes from Brazil, there's other importers are going to have to look elsewhere, and they're going to look to the U.S. We've got a higher quality crop, but if China does come back to the U.S. market, watch out, because things can change pretty quickly.
You agree, Pete? If China does come back, things change in a heartbeat?
Just a headline, I'll give you, I would imagine, a quarter, 30 cents. I mean, beans rallied today. I mean, I realize we're talking on a Thursday, but I mean, I thought, beans are an $11 crop.
And why did beans rally on Thursday?
Well, I'm sorry, to rally today because Secretary Rollins mentioned that.
So one headline, and we could see this bean crop take a turn.
Yeah, I'm not from Missouri, but I think the market's waiting to show me.
Pete, what do you want to leave farmers with right now? Because it is frustrating as we wait for these markets to just have something that really takes it higher.
I think that the RCIS people brought up an interesting topic, right? We have to talk about this 80% subsidy. I think that's a double-edged sword that's going to protect you, but it's also not going to leave many acres fallow next year, regardless of price. Yeah, and like I said a few nights this week, it's the darkest before the dawn. I personally have a lot of confidence in the U.S. farmer, and the economy will rebound sooner or later. I know it's a tough slog, but just hang in there. It's going to come back to you.
Lane, as chief economist for Pro Farmer, what do you want farmers to know?
One thing, this Minnesota corn crop's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable. We've never seen such increases like that, and it's just really impressive. But Randy's going to talk about how fast these diseases can impact the crop. He's shown us day after day this week we can go from a green leaf with a little bit of tar spot to completely overcome in just 11 days. And we're going to be keeping a real close eye on that. We think that diseases are going to be a real weight on this year's yield.
Well, we appreciate you both joining us to talk markets and really what we're looking at from here on out. Peter Meyer, as well as Lane Acre, we appreciate both of you. All right, we need to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more U.S. Farm Report.